Good evening, everybody. Welcome, Los Gatos Toastmasters. Oh, hi, Maria. You snuck in. Yeah, good to see you. I'm Tom Bartese. I am filling in for Chirag tonight as a sergeant at arms, so I'm kicking off the meeting. Welcome, everyone. And we have two contestants on Zoom tonight, Thor and Amber. No guest yet. Before I hand it off to Dan Wen, I wanted to remind everybody that March is dues month. So make sure you pay your dues by the end of the month. Some of you have already paid. Thank you. And for those that haven't, please make sure you get to that. And we have our area contest tomorrow. So our zoo and Anant will be our contestants tomorrow, Edenvale Branch Library in San Jose, 6:30 p.m. I'll be there. We'll be rooting you on. Good luck. And VJ will be there, and a few Dan Wen and a few others will be there. So you'll have some friendly faces in the audience. Have fun with it. No pressure, right? So just enjoy the experience. And with that, let me hand it over to Dan Wen. Make sure you silence your phones. And if you need to use the restroom, it's right outside the doors and to the left. Dan Wen.
Good evening, everyone. So nice to see you guys again every week. I'm super happy to see all of you. Then tonight I want to share a little bit, use this word, admonish. For me, actually, I usually, I'm amongst me. You should remember, you should make this year accountable. So I think this, today is my third speech. So I make sure that accountable in March. That's the third time. So I hope can help everyone to remember, just to remind, gently remind people, remind my friends to keep practicing your speech. That's it. Now tonight's the Toastmaster is Chris. Please come in.
All right. Thank you, President Dan Wen.
Thank
Appreciate
you.
that warm introduction. Good evening, everyone. Thanks for being here. I'm usually very good about signing up for my roles well ahead of time, but this month I didn't do that. So I decided to get in and get on the website, get on Trello, sign up for a role that I could just jump right into. Toastmasters is that role, being the Toastmaster of the night. So keep it in mind for our newer members, brand new members, or experienced members. Jump in, it's fun. There's a nice cadence. You know what you're going to talk about. Tom pre-does the agenda, and you just give it a go, right? You get a lot of stage time up here. So it's fun to be in that moment. Once again, a round of applause for Arzu and Anant. They're going to be representing our club very soon. Why don't we bring Arzu up here real quick and just have her talk about impromptu, what she's looking forward to at that event and what she thinks the experience is going to be like. So round of applause for Arzu, please.
Okay, what I'm looking forward to. I'm looking forward to seeing and hearing the different speeches tomorrow, just to kind of see how everyone, starts their speech, how they're interacting, what they do differently, and kind of pick up on that for myself. And what was the other question? Sorry.
Just like what you're hoping to get out of the experience overall.
I'm hoping to gain more confidence when speaking, especially in impromptu, just being able to go up there and feeling confident, even though I'm not 100% have like an idea of what I'm going to say right away, just being more comfortable with just speaking in front of strangers and a new audience. So that's what I'm excited for.
You're going to do great. We're so proud of you. That's what it's about. Sometimes it's highly scripted. Sometimes you have slides. Sometimes you have nothing. Sometimes you have a podium. Sometimes you don't have that. You're just walking around a stage. Today, it was a big week at NVIDIA where I work with a lot of the folks there. GPU Technology Conference, GTC. It's their annual conference. GPU Technology Conference. That's what the GTC stands for. And Jensen Huang, CEO, went up there. SAP Arena, San Jose Sharks Arena, Taylor Swift. Did a big concert there recently. And he said, he went out there and he goes, "Hey, I got no safety net. I have no notes. And I'm gonna do a 2-hour presentation. But we're gonna talk about what we're doing at NVIDIA, the roadmap, where AI is going, agentic AI, every physical AI, and all sorts of different innovations right now. So super exciting. I know Jensen's a pro, but he's also an engineer. It was a highly technical presentation for a technical audience. They're all developers and researchers there. But you know, if he can do it, we can do it eventually. It took 30 plus years. But I mean, from my experience being there just 5+ years, he is such a proponent and an advocate for everything NVIDIA is doing. NVIDIA used to be known as just a company for graphics cards. And he had to go around to the analysts groups and say, no, we're much more than that. And there's different ways you can use our technology to change the world. And here we are, right? It doesn't just happen overnight. So keep that in mind. We can all step up and make big changes or small changes. All right, so we're starting a little late today with the technology and everything, but let's get to it. We have 2 speakers tonight. We have Dan Wen and Tom. Super excited to hear about that. Dan Wen is speaking about, what are you speaking about tonight, Dan Wen?
My hometown story.
Your hometown story. Love it. We've heard about your town. We've heard about the skyscrapers and also the humble beginnings as well. So we can't wait to hear more about that. And Tom, give us a little hint about what you're going to be speaking about tonight.
Life lesson learned as a young man.
Life lesson learned as a young man. Is this an extension of the one where, is it the same one or a different one where you?
Stapler's bad coffee and closed doors.
Okay, there's one where you were a young adult out of law school. There was another one when you were a young boy and you saw some sort of button or fire drill on the street in Treasure Island and you got caught. Wow, you were such a little troublemaker, weren't you?
But this is one I've done before, but.
Well, we can't wait to hear it. Just like a non-story last time, we heard it before and then we heard it again. It got better, but it still made us laugh. It still put a smile on our face with Rufus, I believe. Rufus, was it Rufus the dog?
Yeah.
Bruno. Yes, Bruno. Very smart Bruno. Okay, and then we have table topics run by VJ. Thank you. What will our topics be tonight? Give us a little sneak peek of the theme of table topics.
There is only one question. I cannot say the question, but I took hint from the word of the day and it's related to that.
Oh, yes, admonish. There will be no admonishment here in this club. We will all be welcoming and positive when we try to practice, because if we can't do it here, where else can we do it? And if we build confidence here, it will multiply and we will be exponentially better in the future when the lights are on us, right? Then you have Arzu, your presentation next week. You had it last week. Come on up here real quick. Come on up here. Okay, all right, real quick. Another impromptu. How did it go? Did anything we do here help you prepare for that moment? So 2 questions.
Yes. So it went well. I actually took your advice and I created a little summary sheet for everyone, just a little information for them to take back to their organizations. And that I think a lot of people absolutely loved that they could have it. And I drank matcha instead of coffee that day. So my nerves were calm and I felt really relaxed. I think 20 minutes before the presentation, I started to get a little nervous because it was over 60 plus. And that was the first time I've ever spoken in front of that many people. So I was like, okay, now it's starting to kick in. But then once I actually started speaking, I felt very relaxed and calm. I actually recorded it. I can show it to you guys. And we did a bunch of exercises where everyone was participating, everyone was engaged, everyone was like, making comments. And I really liked the energy that people were not just sitting on their phones, or people were taking notes and they were, asking me questions. So that made me feel very confident. And I took up the entire hour. So that was another worry that I had, was that I wouldn't be able to speak for an entire hour, but I did. And it went by really fast. And I think it's helping me to come here, speaking in front of all of you, getting comfortable, getting your feedback on what I can do differently. And that has helped me a lot. So it went well. I'm really glad.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
That's one of the main reasons why you joined the club. You're like, I have something coming. I need to prepare for it.
Yeah.
I need to practice. It doesn't mean you were practicing what your content was here every week, but you're practicing just speaking and having the attention on you. And it helps a lot. I did a big tax presentation for NVIDIA and you step in, you go, okay, showtime. Let's do this. We're going to have some fun.
Actually had
Right?
voice in the back of my head. Have fun with it. So just have fun.
Yeah. You hit your stride, the energy's good, and you can break it up by having them, give you back feedback or do their little group working sessions. Yeah, very nice. And you have enough content and value to fill an hour plus at least. So now you can have a series of content. So something to work out. Good. All right. Our speech evaluators will be Thor. Thank you for stepping up, Thor. Appreciate that. Thor, what will you be looking for in our speaker number one from Dan Wen, our speech number one from Dan Wen?
Yeah, is it, do I go ahead and go through the whole thing? My apologies.
Oh, just very quick, quick.
Yeah, just gonna share with her about her story of where she grew up, Shenzhen, if I said that right, Dan Wen. And the big purpose being policy and understanding and having good policy and systems in life.
Good. Thank you, Thor. Thank you, Thor, for that. Appreciate you stepping up last minute. We all need feedback, the anonymous feedback and the feedback that is from our evaluators. All important. Natalie, what will you be focused on? Not the content, but anything in particular? Is it a general evaluation? Is it something more targeted for Tom this evening? Yes. Excellent. Yeah, it's always so hard to find with Tom, right? He makes us laugh. He's got his haircut. He's ready to go tonight. Oh man, he's all ready. Okay, good. Functionary roles. Sonia, timer, please come on up, Sonia, and let us know what the timer role is all about.
Okay, hello fellow Toastmasters. So tonight I am your timer and I am going to basically be alerting you of where you are in your speaking. So let me see, I'm going to be looking at we don't have icebreakers tonight, so table topics. So table topics, you have 2 minutes to speak. At 1 minute, I will be flashing this lovely green card for you. At 1.5 minutes, you will get the yellow card, the alert. And at the 2-minute mark, you get the red. And that's going to be the same for the speeches, where you get between 5 to 7 minutes to speak. At the 5-minute mark, you get the green card. 6 minutes, you get the yellow warning. And at the 7 minutes, you will get the red card. And then for evaluation, you have 2 to 3 minutes. The same thing happens. At 2 minutes, you get the green card. At 2.5 minutes, you get the yellow. And at 3 minutes, you get the red, but there will be no admonishments if you hit red.
Good memories tonight. Great job, Sonia. I remember when you first started and you were nervous just to sit in that seat. You probably still are a little bit, but you're getting more comfortable and you're stepping into roles and enjoying the moment while you're here. So thank you for that. And just with a little trust and faith, you'll enjoy it too, just like all of us eventually. All right, Amber, our grammarian, we beat you to the punch with the word of the day a little bit, but tell us about the role, please.
Hi, everyone. I'll be your grammarian today. Of course, I'm going to introduce the word of the day. The word is admonish, and this is a verb, meaning to admonish someone is to express warning or disapproval towards them, or to urge them to do something. So some examples, we've already heard some great ones used correctly in a sentence, but if you would like some more examples, we were admonished for arriving late to the meeting. They were admonished to take advantage of the opportunity. Or my parents admonished me and my siblings to stay away from the windows. I'll be keeping note of those who use that word today. And also as grammarian, I'll be keeping track of our use of grammar. So incomplete sentences, mispronunciations, grammatical errors, etc. Thank you.
Thank you, Amber. And Amber, I know your C-suite at your startup. Have you had any big company meetings where you had to deliver a message to many people, or maybe something in the industry that was like a research presentation that you've done recently beyond the one you did at first?
Lately, I've been speaking with a lot of companies in the startup space or larger tech companies. So definitely having to flex my communication and presentation skills, sometimes on the fly, but usually describing demos or programs, etc.
Good for you. Congratulations. Yep.
Thank you.
Sometimes it's virtual, sometimes it's in person. We have to be able to shift gears, right? And not just be comfortable on Zoom, or sometimes with our camera off on Zoom. Oh, that's the worst. That's the worst. All right. Arzu, General Evaluator, please come on up here and let us know about that, and then we'll get on with our evening.
Okay, as the general evaluator, I'm going to evaluate how everything goes in terms of the timing, what we can do differently, what we did really well on, things that just pop out to me that were special, maybe phrases that were said, or different. I guess that's it. I'm not really sure what else.
That's good. Just
that
the
it?
overall feel of
Overall
the meeting,
feel,
what we
yeah,
did
okay.
well, what we can improve on in the future.
Okay, yeah.
Thank you.
Mhm.
All right. And I almost forgot our wonderful all counter, Vivian. How could I forget that name, Vivian? It's a beautiful name. Come on up here, Vivian. Please, please, please. She is Vivian. Spelled differently, but still. Vivian.
I thought I could go on stealth mode and just kind of, Okay, my name is Vivian Mao, so very happy to be here. And when we speak, we got a lot of like this and that, and so, things like that, right? I'm very, very guilty of using that a lot in my communications with pretty much everybody. But today here at our Toastmasters meeting, we want to be very mindful of using those filler words. So I'm gonna keep tabs of everybody's speech and how many times they use certain words, the filler words, and I report back at the end of the meeting. That's
Thank
it.
you, Vivian. Yeah, the official filler tally sheet there, so everyone needs to be as succinct as possible. A tip to our timer, please raise up that color. Sometimes we're a little reluctant. We're kind of hiding it, but just say, hey, green, yellow. Okay, Thor, please give us our formal introduction of our first speaker, Dan Nguyen, and then we'll hand it over to Dan Nguyen to do her speech.
Thank you, Chris. Everybody can hear me okay? Raise your hand if you guys can hear me all right.
Yeah.
Excellent. Thank you so much. Okay. The first speaker tonight will be Dan Nguyen Shin, and the title of her speech is The Story of Shenzhen, which is where she grew up. And it looks to be in the Guangdong province. But more importantly, it looks like it's a coastal town, and you can't seem to get away from coastal towns. Here in California, you look to be very similar. So look forward to hear about that aspect as well. From a pathways perspective, she will be at the presentation master, level 3. Her process will be connected with storytelling and sharing where she grew up through a storytelling format. And the objective of her project and the stated purpose is understanding for her how important policy was, and knowing and learning, I guess, that good policies and systems can really unlock a person's boundaries and expand onward. So with that, would love to present Dan Nguyen.
Thank you, Saw. Okay. Actually, I want to share with you because I remember last time you asked me about my hometown. So because this is my level 3 pathways project, they ask connect with the storytelling. So I choose my hometown again. So I still use the story span. So let me start now. Once upon a time, there is a tiny fishing village of the called Shenzhen in the south of China, very close to Hong Kong. Just very quiet and coastal town, and home to only 40,000 people in this town. Every day, people just living in the basic life, simply and predictable life. Nothing seemed distant to change, to happen. Just a very simple life. Everyone just fishing and basic life. Until one day, everything changed, everything did. In 1980, Chinese government designed as Shenzhen as the country's first special economic zone. Then it means there is a it was an experiment. In the before, never have this policy to the city. The government want to see what it happened if China opened the door to trade, to investment, and growth market driving growth. So, and because of that, the business actually flooded in. There is tons of company attracted by the policy, the low taxi, almost free taxi, and very free land in earlier days. So today, actually, like Chris just mentioned, in Shenzhen, boast over 100 skyscraper in the city. Almost is one of the most vertical city in the world. And because of that, people poured in, especially young people. I'm the one of the people after graduated, went to Shenzhen. So let me share my personal story. Maybe Tom and Chris already heard about. Yeah, I want to say before 1980, there is nothing at home. No TV, no phone, no laundry, no dishwash, everything, nothing at my home. You know, if in that day, if you have a bike, you have a bicycle, or you have a watch, or you have a sewing machine at home, you were considered rich people, you know, in 1980, in that day. So you can imagine, everyone cannot imagine we will have the car or house, never. Most family live on one room for the 4 or 6 people, share the kitchen and the bathroom, etc. So people, just very, very poor, I think. Okay, then, but after 10 years, in 1993, I graduated from college. Then I went to the Shenzhen. Actually, everything is changed. Everything changed for me. And I'm lucky I found the job. Then the company acquired the land for headquarters. So I'm a architecture, so they need the architecture, I need a job. It's a perfect match. So I'm super lucky I found the nice job. Also, I want to share the picture. Yeah, this is the building I went to in 1993. I went to Shenzhen. This is our project. It's all the empty the land. We built this building in this land in 5 years. This is this land have we call the 1360 sister skyscraper in Shenzhen around the very main street. So this is one of them. In 10 years, all the building, I think, are finished. How imagine how, I think I'm lucky, and also the city is amazing. And because of that, I work very hard, and I learn fast. Yeah. Yeah, I learn fast. For 18 years, I actually began as a designer and work for the company, helping company to build and construct and design this for headquarters. Yeah. Then after that, I transferred to the management, to a manager. Then have been 18 years, we manage and build the building and residential over almost 10 million square feet. Yeah. This is also, I actually take a little bit of picture for our project, the residential and office, just in this short time. And because of the, because of that, in just 20 years, life totally changed. Now, like Songhua, you can feel like that way. We can, everyone, it's not everyone, most family now have a car, have a house. Also, we can travel in the world, travel a lot of country in the world. That's why I'm here. I mean, before 1990, I think before 1990, I never think about I can come here, I can stay here. So I think for this story, I feel how the policy and the system, how important. So for me, I learned from my city's growth. I think the opportunity is very important for the people. The government, if give you the nice policy and opportunity, people can rise to the challenge, creating the job and a new future, the entire future. So just like I did, just as Shenzhen did, I wish, I hope from my second life in the US, I hope we will have a better every day than great than make great than before. Thank you.
Dan. I think the thing you were remiss to say was that you ended your career there at the architectural firm, a major one, as the CEO.
Oh yeah, that's manager.
Oh my
A
gosh.
Success story. Success story. Amazing. I wouldn't even know where to start if you said we're going to build a skyscraper here.
My finger is a little bit
Just the opportunity and the circumstances and the hard work, and that you took the initiative to make that all happen all at one time.
Everyone grows with the city together.
Yeah, and it also is sparks discussion about appreciation, our standard of living, and all around the world, it's not the same as living here, or the role of government or not to stimulate the right economic conditions and regulations in certain areas, whether it's loans or just red tape and laws, and legislation changes. Great story. Thank you. Okay, so let's give her some feedback real quick. Thank you. Once again, Dan Wen. QR code feedback for Dan Wen from all of us. Thor's getting his thoughts together as well, and we're going to have him come back later for that. About 2 minutes. A tip for everyone for this form, you can just save it, bookmark it to your phone if you want to do that in the future, or go to our website when you're at home. It's on there as well. Save that as a bookmark so you always have quick access to the feedback form. Wrap up our comments the next 20 seconds or so. Thank you. Before we welcome our next speaker, Tom Bartese, we want to welcome Anand to the stage because he officially signed up as a Los Gatos Toastmaster. So thank you, sir. Warm round of applause for Anand. So why did you decide to take the plunge, and where do you hope your speaking ability and confidence will be 1 year from now?
I think it's obvious. Signing up for Toastmasters was a no-brainer because I've been speaking publicly for a little bit, but I think this helps me put myself out there and practice more. And seeing you all doing such a fantastic job, I'm sure you came a long way already, and there's some ways to go for all of you. But I want to get there. I think it's really inspiring to do that and to practice. I think I like the way you're taking the opportunity, for example, to go have longer conversations. I'd like to do that as well.
Yeah.
What was the second part of your question? Oh, where do I see myself in a year?
Yeah.
I really would love to do more of this extempore speaking. I think we tend to focus more on the prepared stuff. I think it's important, especially in the tech world, to be able to do it spontaneously.
Mhm.
So to be able to take the time, think, and be able to enunciate is something I'm doing it well here, maybe, but as the crowds get larger, it
Yeah.
gets harder.
Yeah.
And I think I want to be able to be a fluent speaker for the long run.
Congrats, Anand. Yeah. First step. You look comfortable. I really like even today, you're giving us good eye contact. You weren't like moving around too much. You were kind of smiling a little bit. It was a pleasant gaze, right? To everyone in your audience. So good stuff.
Yeah, this is the
So,
kind of stuff that I
yeah.
appreciate.
Yeah,
It's good
some
to get
real-time feedback.
Yeah.
And you start associating public speaking with good feelings versus
Yeah.
fear and anxiety and uneasiness. And it just happens because you just don't know. It's like the unknown. Your mind starts spinning in the background. How'd I come off? Did I sound good or not?
Yeah.
Right. But when you're here, we can give you honest feedback, and usually it's pretty good. And then a couple things to tweak. All right. So we'll move on to our next speaker. We have Natalie, who'll be introducing Tom Bartese. So let's welcome up Natalie, our second evaluator.
Thank you, Chris. Before I introduce Tom, I want to say that I signed up for this role, and then I felt a little bit anxious to evaluate Tom's speeches. I thought, what can I contribute to Tom? And I really want Tom to have a real contribution from this evaluation. So I had a little time, and I asked ChatGPT, how can I help? That how can I evaluate a speaker who is not the first day here? And the ChatGPT really helped me, gave me a list of thought-provoking questions that I can try to monitor during the speech and try to that was not the point, Tom, for making you nervous. I just wanted to share with you guys how I use the technology, and I want to urge you also to think about how you can use all kinds of AI tools to help you with your life, even with the Toastmasters. And I will report back how it went, whether it would be helpful or not. And if not, I hope I would be able to admonish you from using that. So Tom Bartese will talk, and his title of speech is Staples, Bad Coffee, and Closed Doors. This is Humorous Pathways, Level 3, Project 1. And the purpose of this speech is determine your style of humor and apply it to a speech with a message. A little bit about Tom's speech. This is a new, improved version of speech that Tom has given before about a life lesson he learned as a young man. We love Tom's live lessons. And this is the 40th speech he has given to the club. Let's welcome Tom.
Thank you, Natalie, for that wonderful introduction. ChatGPT. Fellow Toastmasters. So there I was, walking down the long hallway. I had just been summoned into one of the offices of the law firm, of a partner of the law firm. And I say walking down the hallway, but actually I think I was sort of strutting down the hallway. My mind was racing with ideas of perhaps today I'm getting a raise. Perhaps I'm getting a promotion. But in reality, there was no raise waiting for me that day. There was no promotion waiting for me that day. But was waiting for me that day was something more valuable and important. It was a life lesson about to be learned. So I'm getting a little bit ahead of myself. Let me rewind the tape a bit. 1979, I'm a senior in college down at UCLA, and I got a job working for a law firm in downtown Beverly Hills. Now, this job was advertised as a gopher position. Now, some of you may not be familiar with that term, but back in the day, gopher meant go for this, go for that. It was a low-level job with a wide range of responsibilities. I ran errands. I worked in the copy room, copying and assembling documents. I worked in the file room, handled the office mail. I was even responsible for making sure that there was a pot of freshly brewed coffee in the office break room at all times during the day. It was a perfect job for a young man who was just starting to find his way in the world. And I loved this job. And it's to this day, it was still my favorite job that I've ever held in my life. And over time, I became quite accomplished with all the tasks. It got to the point where I could run the copy machine with my eyes closed. I could make deliveries all over Los Angeles without even looking at a map. You know, we've all been in those jobs before where we start to get relaxed, settled in, comfortable, confident. Little did I know, though, I was becoming a little bit too confident, too comfortable. One day, I'm working in the file room, and the phone rings. File room, this is Tom. Yes, Tom, this is Mr. Harrison. I'd like you to come down to my office as soon as possible. Oh, sure thing, Mr. Harrison, I'll be right there. Now, Greg Harrison, he's one of the firm's big-time partners. So I'm heading down to his office thinking, maybe he needs me to run an errand or make a delivery or something like that. But as I got close to the office, I started thinking, I've been doing a great job here at the firm. Something good is about to happen. Look at the big brain on Tom, right? But as soon as I got to his office, Mr. Harrison had a very serious look on his face. And he stood up and he walked over to his door and he slowly closed it behind me. That's when I thought to myself, yikes, this probably isn't about me making the coffee too strong that morning. He sat down and he said, come here. And on his desk was a stack of documents that I had copied and assembled for him earlier that day. He handed me the stack and he said, Tom, do you see anything wrong with these documents? Now, I know a trick question when I hear it, but I didn't know what the trick question was. I'm looking at the stack of documents. They sort of everything looked in order to me. And I just sort of mumbled, I don't know, maybe wrong size paper. And he gave me a stern, admonishing look. And then he proceeded to point out to me what a sloppy job I had done in stapling these documents together. Stapling. The corners were all mixed up. Staples were in different spots on different documents. And some of the staples hadn't even made it all the way through the documents. The job was a complete mess from top to bottom. Then he politely explained to me that the image that he and his fellow partners had for the firm was one of a high level of professionalism, excellence, and that everything we produced at the firm, big or small, was a reflection of the entire firm. And that whatever left the office had to be done just right. Because if a client got something that was sloppy or messy, that client may get the impression that everything we did at the firm was sloppy or messy, and that simply was not acceptable. Oh my gosh, I was mortified. I immediately knew where he was coming from. I understood the message, and I was so embarrassed, not just with the job that I had done, but that I had not made that same connection on my own. I assured him from that point forward, everything I would do at the firm, big or small, would measure up to the firm's high standards. And fortunately, I did not get fired that day. But that brief encounter that day actually turned out to be one of the most transformative moments of my life. It forced me to open my eyes and ask myself, how was I showing up in life? And although I thought I was doing great in all the things in my life, schoolwork, work, this one event really shined a spotlight on the fact that perhaps I was coming up short in certain aspects of my life, particularly my attention to detail. So from that point forward, I doubled down on my attention to detail, and I made sure that everything I did, not just for the firm, but for outside the firm, measured up to the firm's high standards, but my own personal standards that I was beginning to develop as a young man. And that mindset really served me well from that point forward. And 45 plus years as an attorney, it really is something that I has reminded myself of almost on a daily basis, just from that very brief encounter back in 1979. So the message I want to leave you with tonight is not that we all need to have these high, grandiose personal standards. No, you're all free to set that bar as high or as low as you want, but make sure we examine how we're approaching the small tasks in our life and ask ourselves whether our performance aligns with our personal standards, whether the physical expression of these small tasks and our performance is in harmony with our intention, since how we show up and execute all these routine, mundane tasks in our lives will often reveal themselves sometimes in the bigger, more important tasks in our life. After all, the small things are the big things. Thank you.
Tom Bartese. Speech number 40. The student of this, out of necessity, he joined Toastmasters. He was going to be the officiant at a wedding for his nephew. And then other things proceeded after that. And here you are, enjoying it. Reading up on storytelling technique, story-worthy, I believe, right? And I've noticed, did you all notice? So what you get to a certain point, you can start to have the same story told in a different way. You can start the story with motion and intrigue and then pull back and then chronologically or in different orders, then go through with the story, have a lot of suspense, build up, reach that point, that climax, and then, all right, here's the lesson at the end. So always working on it. It's always a craft, no notes, completely internalized. Just like ChatGPT, thinking of the next perfect word, one after another, token by token. Good job. Great job. Great job, Tom. Let's give him a little bit of feedback. The other thing that I want to point out, as Jensen Wong talks about this too, is that the best way to learn is from other people's mistakes. So we learn so much through stories, right? And that story, we were living that with you, and we all thought about, are we putting enough effort into the small things that lead up to the big things? And so we can make our own mistakes. If we do, great, fail quickly, move on. But it's much better to learn from other people's mistakes. 20 more seconds. All right, at this time, we will welcome up VJ to be our Toastmaster for table topics. So please welcome him. The mysterious question and singular theme. We welcome our guests, our new members, everybody who doesn't have a formal role to participate.
Absolutely. Thank you, Chris. And the topic is, I borrowed, I think I mentioned, I took hint from the word of the day. And if I ask that question to Tom, I'll hear the same story, because that is exactly the question I'm asking, what he just shared. All right. To be fair, because I have one question, I'm going to state the question first, and then you volunteer, so that it's fair to everyone. Think of a time you needed to admonish or urge yourself to step outside your comfort zone. What positive outcome resulted from that self-encouragement? I repeat, think of a time you needed to admonish or urge yourself to step outside your comfort zone. What positive outcome resulted from that self-encouragement? It connects to your story, but you're welcome to answer.
There he was in 1979. Oh, I only have 1 to 2 minutes. Okay. No, but seriously, you know, a lot of you know that one of my favorite pastimes is surfing, right? And Thor knows this. Thor and I used to be good surfing buddies. Then Thor stopped surfing for some reason. So, but maybe he'll come back anyway. But he'll relate to this. So, you know, when you're out there surfing, as you build up your levels of experience, you put yourself in bigger and bigger waves, right? And you start off when you're first learning in sort of smaller waves, and then you challenge yourself a little more and a little more, and the waves get bigger and bigger. So there's been times, though, when the waves have been maybe a little bigger than my comfort zone, where I have to tell myself, look, you need to go for this. Just put your head down, paddle hard, and don't look back, charge, be fully in, fully committed. And I do that. And that's how we grow as surfers, because what you learn from that is maybe you'll catch the wave, maybe you'll fall flat on your face and go tumbling in the wave, but you'll survive. And you realize, hey, I can handle this. You know, what's the worst thing that can happen? I know how to handle myself in the water. I'll be safe. And it gives you the confidence to try for bigger and bigger waves, even though it may be just a tad out of your comfort zone. But that's how we all become better as surfers, and better in really anything that we do in life that pushes us out of our comfort zone. Thank you.
Thank you, Tom. Who is next? And once you volunteer, I'll repeat the question again. Anyone? Okay, Natalie. I'll repeat the question one time. Think of a time you needed to admonish or urge yourself to step outside your comfort zone. What positive outcome resulted from that self-encouragement?
So I think I had lots of opportunities to encourage myself in life, and I keep trying to do that even now. One time that I was thinking about is when I was 17 years old-ish, and I graduated high school, and I had about 6 months before my next thing that I was planning to do. And I wanted to get a job, temporary job. So what I did, it was back then, we didn't have such a developed internet. We had internet, but it was not that developed. We couldn't just go on LinkedIn and find jobs online. And I was like just from high school, so there was not many options. What I did, I went to the city center and went from business to business to ask if they need employees. Any businesses, it was like coffee shops, grocery shops, any technology, small technology companies, whatever it was. I just came in and asked, and suddenly at some place, and it was a newspaper, a local newspaper that said, yes, we actually need a graphic designer that would work with us on our new software. And since I was fresh from high school and I liked computers, I just happened to know that software. And I said, yeah, sure. And I found myself working for a newspaper. So.
And is that how you build your career from that?
Oh,
No. But great story. You found job, some work for you because you pushed yourself. Sorry. So, all right. Thank you for sharing that. Maria, you wanted to go next? I think you raised your. Let me.
Yes.
Okay. Think of a time you needed to admonish yourself or urge yourself to step outside your comfort zone. What positive outcome resulted from that self-encouragement?
So I go back again to that, my urge to publicly speak. And I created a workshop and it was total failure. But I come back to that workshop and that experience because it was the reason why I started to develop my public speaking. I thought it's natural for me. But without that failure, I wouldn't be in the position that I developed so much for the past year. And that's about admonishing myself into very uncomfortable situation. But the result was that I'm here. I developed my public speaking. And one funny moment I experienced on Sunday on public speaking workshop, there was several people, 10 plus people, and the task was me going in front of them and what I feel. And the trainer is like, where do you feel these blocks? Where do you feel the tension? I'm like, guys, thank you. I really appreciate your attention to me. I like it. Like there was no tension. There was kind of, it was good because of this, I guess. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you. Great story and good encouragement for all of us to keep pushing ourselves and keep coming here, keep talking, get better. Thank you. How are we doing on time? One more? Amber, Thor, anyone wants to? Okay, Thor, I think you have your hand up. So let me repeat the question for you. Think of a time you needed to admonish or urge yourself to step outside your comfort zone. What positive outcome resulted from that self-encouragement?
Thank you. It was a very interesting time and getting courage to ask a woman to be my wife is a very scary, and the amount of admonishment that I went through, no, I'm not gonna, yes, I will, no, I won't, took a lot of time. So I went to a group of friends, men. We had a little gathering. We'd get together on a bi-weekly basis. And I said, hey, look, I want to propose to her, but I'm scared to death. But I got ideas. So I was thinking, I have some family friends that own a tugboat. Maybe I could propose to her on the front of the tugboat, something like the movie Titanic, and we would be good to go. And they all just bowed their head. They looked at me like, Thor, you're not thinking. She's going to be so cold and so frozen going under the Golden Gate Bridge that she won't even be able to respond. And I said, okay, so how about this? What if I take her to Angel Island in the middle of the bay in San Francisco, and we hike all the way up to the very top? You guys set up a nice white table, champagne, and we go from there. Again, they bowed their head. Nothing is going to happen here. So I'm happy to say that I scaled it down dramatically, asked her to marry me, and almost 25 years later, I am still very happily married. So thank you.
See, positive outcomes all around. Just keep stepping outside your comfort zone and all positive outcomes are going to be yours. Thank you.
Thank you, BJ. Lots of fun. Oh, pulling out our heartstrings right there. Last minute, Thor. All right, so let's do a vote for Tom or Natalie or Maria or Thor. So Tom, Natalie, Maria, or Thor. Quick submission on whose story and speech resonated the most with you. Okay, so Thor is up, giving the evaluation for Dan Wen. Please keep it succinct, 2 to 3 minutes. 2 minutes is better than 3 with the time that we have left, and make it meaningful and useful for Dan Wen as well. So you have a lot to cover. Thank you, Thor.
Okay. Thank you both, all of you. Yeah, Dan Wen, I nothing to admonish. I can only hope to be able to go to a new country like you have and be able to share a story like you have with all of us and have the success. I loved how you set up a beautiful setting in the very beginning by talking about a very small village and showing a very country kind of feel. And then you had a great segue at the same time, that 1980 switch, the pivot, what happened from 1980 on. Being able to provide technical details like you did of the taxes that happened, of the master plan, and it growing, and what you gave as personal anecdotes of what you were going through and leaving and then bringing back, coming back. I thought that was a great comparison of before and after. Very powerful. And I also like the use of props that you brought in with the picture. That changes things up, and it makes us look at a different aspect and kind of catches everybody on guard. I thought the ability to be able to contrast what you did from a small fishing village to a 10 million square feet of buildings that you were personally involved in brought a lot out. And for everybody sitting around this table, let's look at it in comparison. This is something like if somebody took Petaluma to the north and suddenly decided to turn Petaluma into San Francisco. Picture San Francisco without any buildings. And then I thought you expressed that very, very well. And then in your conclusion, I thought you brought it all in to the systems and what can be done with policy and systems. And so I thought that was very good. So thanks for the speech.
Dan Wen, great job. When you first started, I remember you just wanted to get up here and just speak. You're saying, I just want to practice English. I just want to say anything. And you really come out of your shell, and we're hearing compelling stories about your life, your career here. You're able to articulate it very well. We all have things to work on, little pronunciation here and there, but I mean, the story is there. You're super engaging as a speaker, and the fear of getting up here and being judged for you speaking a second or third or fourth language is not even an issue for you anymore. So congratulations. Congratulations. Yeah. All right. Thank you, Thor. All right, let's go on to Natalie. Natalie will be giving her GPT inspired critique of Tom. I can't wait to see what happens. Natalie.
Okay, well, I must say that there were some interesting questions by ChatGPT, but mostly I think that it didn't renew anything that we did know. So Tom, it was a great speech, very interesting and very funny as usual. I loved listening to your life lesson. And in terms of structure, I loved the opening and the hook, how you told us what's gonna happen, and there was some tension that you kept us, and then you rewinded back to tell the full story. It was a great opening, and then I love that you used the dialogue between you and your boss. It actually made us feel like we are part of that, like we are there. You had some more moments of tension building, how your boss called you to the room and closed the door behind. All that also helped us feel like we are in the same room with you. So that was really great. You had all kind of small humorous moments here and there, and the audience responded really well. People laughed, and I think everyone smiled during the entire speech. I felt like there were a few life lessons that you wanted that you wanted us to take with us, and I feel that you could pause some more on that in those places for us to be able to understand that those are the meaningful phrases, the important areas of this in this speech. Let's see. For example, you said, how do I show up in life? That was your insight of what your boss told you. And I felt like it was a powerful moment, which you continued a little bit faster after that. It would be great if you could give the audience the opportunity to think about that a little bit more. And maybe even to use your vocal variety more in that place to make us feel that it is a significant part. I loved your hand gestures and the body language, especially in the first part of the speech. It was very not monotonous. When you went to the second part of the speech, closer to the end, you went back to your comfort zone a little bit, but I feel it was really good. The beginning, it was very, there were different use of body language. And in general, it was really great and interesting and thought-provoking for every one of us. I loved the life lesson as well. Thank you, Tom. Thank you.
Appreciate that. Very thorough speech. Good job. Evaluation rather. Okay, so we're at time. We're going to do a 1 minute max for our functionaries. So new rule, read up at 1 minute. And then the functionary has to step aside and let the next person come up. So let's try this out. Sonia is the timer. So let's VJ time Sonia. Sonia will come up here and give her timer report. And at the 1 minute mark, read, and then we wrap it up. Just like it was meant to be.
Okay. Okay, so let's see, Dan Wen, you were at 7 minutes and 56 seconds. So a little over time. Tom as well at 7 minutes and 28 seconds. Let's see, the table topics, sorry. Tom, 1 minute 35. Natalie, I didn't set the timer, but I think you were on time. So I just got caught up in that. Maria at 1:30, so good. And Thor at 1:52, also good. And then lastly, we have Thor for evaluations at 2 minutes 40 seconds and Natalie at 3:49.
Perfect. Good time to spare. Look at that. Excellent. Vivian, I'll counter, please. I'll counter report. Vivian.
Thank you. So as always, the prepared speeches tend to have less or fewer filler words because we got much more conscious and all that. And then of the other speeches tend to have a bit more of those. But today I'm just gonna say that instead of telling everybody what you have, kind of filler words and all that, I actually wanted to give us the top 2 filler words today. The first one is right. So that's very common. And the other one is we say that a lot too, especially when we're thinking about what to say, right? So those are the 2 common use, the top 2 for today. So that's it.
Thank you. Perfect. Excellent. Love that. We have Amber, grammarian. Welcome, Amber, please.
Hi, everyone. So word of the day, I noticed Chris, Dan Wen, Sonia, Tom, VJ, Maria, and Thor used it. But I do need to admonish myself because I think I missed a few. I was trying to pay close attention to grammar, and I think there were a few that I missed. So I'm sorry if I left your name out of that list. Dan Wen, great use of grammar throughout. I think that your grammar has improved over the speeches that I've heard. So I'm not sure if you've been paying attention to that, but great job there. 1 or 2 things I noticed. You said you were considered rich people. I think you would want to say you were considered a rich person, just because the subject is you, which is like singular. So a rich person. And then also when you were talking about architecture, you said, I'm a architecture, they needed architecture. You used it correctly in the second one, they needed architecture, but it would be I'm an architect for the start. Tom, great. I noticed when you said, I know a trick question when I hear one. That was a great phrase that you used. Natalie, just now you said not monotonous. I think you meant monotonous, but great use of a vocab word. That was nice. And I think I'm at time, so I'm going to stop.
Thank you, Amber. Appreciate that. Very self-aware. Thank you, Amber. Arzu, general evaluation. Welcome, Arzu, please.
Okay, I think we can all agree that Chris does a really good job of acknowledging everyone and their achievements, what they have going on in their personal lives that is being used in Toastmasters. So I think he always does a good job of like making everyone feel confident, happy. So let's give him a clap of the hands. And giving everyone feedback as well. I think that's something I forgot to mention. Tom and Chris, I think another positive was that you engaged with the individuals on Zoom, which sometimes I think we can all forget that they're here. So it's good that we get the reminders of like, okay, let's also remember that they're with us That was great. Natalie, I appreciated how you reminded us of AI and how we can use that for evaluations, for different things in our speeches, especially for Toastmasters. So that I'll keep in mind. I think today was a little different than most days in terms of timing. We didn't start on time. We started, I think, 7 minutes later than we would have. So that makes sense as to why we were kind of speeding up and we're a little late on things. The only thing that I would say we could do differently is in those moments when we're not starting on time is maybe have less table topics, individuals that do their speeches, but that's about it.
Yep. Thank you. Yep, compress the beginning and also, start 3 minutes after or right on time. That's a good rule of thumb. And especially if the technology is still coming up, because we have set people that typically do it, but then others are coming in and putting it all together. It's okay to start the meeting, right? And you just start the proceedings and then we can just engage Zoom, 5 minutes in. So that's another way to save some time too. All right. Well, thank you. It's been an honor being your Toastmaster tonight. Please sign up for the Toastmaster role in the future. Please go on to Trello and you'll see 4 cards at a time every month. Just go on there and just pick your slots, pick your roles. It doesn't have to be a speech every week. It rarely is. Maybe once a month, try to do a speech. I'm going to let our president close us out. And at that time, I'm also going to be looking up the winner for table topics. But why don't you close us up, President Dan Nguyen, with some words of wisdom. Thank you.
Thank you, Chris. He already see everything, so I think we did a good job. Also, tomorrow is a contest day, so I think welcome everyone to join the party. I'm guessing, Tom, how many people on the site tomorrow? How many people usually in the contest?
This is the first time since COVID that we've done it in person, so I don't know how many people.
Okay, I will be
Yeah,
there.
Usually it's been on Zoom for every year.
Oh, okay, gotcha. So who's the winner?
Thor.
So, congratulations, so.
One vote for Natalie and everyone else was for Thor. He gave us the wedding.
Yeah, the proposal, yeah. Wow, yeah.
It got us all in our feelings. It was a very nice.
I'm so touching, even now. Yeah, even now, it's still
Aw.
good job. Okay.